So we're going to talk a little bit right now about Cory. And
Not you, Cory. Cory Booker.
not you, Cory. Thanks, Cory. I am not watching the confirmation hearings, and the reason I'm not watching the confirmation hearings is because I'm still nauseous from the Brett Kavanaugh hearings. But you've been watching it, and I know that a lot of the YouCantBeatBlue members were mentioning a speech that Cory Booker gave.
I see my ancestors and yours. Nobody's going to steal the joy of that woman in the street, or the calls that I'm getting, or the texts. Nobody's going to steal that joy. You have earned this spot. You are worthy. You are a great American.
It was extraordinary. I mean, I think a lot of it was extraordinary because it came at the end of a contentious day. So the juxtaposition, was striking. But the fact that he just was there and offered her the opportunity to basically lay down her armor and just embrace the moment reminded us all of the importance of the moment and the history of the moment. And it just was a breath of fresh air.
Was she tearing up? Did you see that? What did you make of that?
We all were, Gary. But yes, she was reaching for the Kleenex. I mean, how could she not? He hit upon so many things. He, reminding her she didn't just show up. She wasn't riding anyone's coattails. I mean, she has done the work. She's accomplished. It's extraordinary.
You've been watching the hearings. You've sort of been my touchstone for it, and I appreciate you for that. How did you feel in that moment when Senator Booker started to speak? What was going through your heart and your mind?
It's almost like time stood still. It just felt like we all could take a breath, and sit and reflect on it, and watching her husband, watching her daughter's look to her, so proud, so incredibly proud. I really appreciate that he chose to focus on something so positive. And he was a great reminder that we all have the power to change the narrative by focusing on something so positive.
I feel like in moments where Senator Cory Booker is being a senator, I see something, I see a spark. I really see passion there. But, I gotta say, I didn't really see that when he was running for president. He was up on that stage, and granted, he didn't get a lot of time, but how did you feel about Cory Booker as a candidate for president versus Cory Booker as a senator this week?
Such a good question, Gary. I've thought about that a lot over the last couple of days and why that is. I think what we've seen on the floor of the Senate has been a brother. I mean, he showed up as a brother. He showed up as someone who looks like her, who sees her, and without even saying all of the words, you can see they're communicating so much. His role is very different. When he was during the primary, his job was to show himself as presidential, which is completely different from this. But I have, like you, spent some time considering, where was this guy, right? Yeah. This is catnippy. What we're seeing here, this humanity, is just extraordinary. I mean, it's a lesson for every politician, frankly.
The Jackson confirmation hearings versus the Kavanaugh confirmation hearings.
I'm just shrugging. There's no comparison. This is someone,
like the same process.
She's supremely qualified. There is no one more qualified than this person. And any questions that she gets that attempt to divert her attention, she handles them with grace and ease. The way she is composed and how she's maintaining herself now, that just speaks volumes for the kind of person she is and the kind of person she will be for all of us.
I feel with Kavanaugh, you can argue whether or not some of the things that they brought up were legitimate in terms of whether or not he was qualified for the bench. But I felt what disqualified him was his reaction to these things. There was no composure. There seemed to be a sense of entitlement. How dare you stop me from rising to this position that I deserve.
Let me just add this. I realize that everyone who goes through this process is prepped on how to do it. I'm not a Black woman, but I have a feeling that as a Black woman, she's been preparing for this moment her entire life. The way that she has to maintain herself and her composure, how she has to be over-prepared, how she has to comport herself. I think that that's extraordinary. To sit there, I don't even know how many hours it's been now that she has sat there and just taken it. And there was a picture, you should grab the picture that the photo is actually of all the photographers and all the people just looking down at her in this, and just that even is kind of menacing and horrible and awful. And
yeah, it's all of the things that we as television viewers aren't even realizing is going on in that room. All of the pressure that we see, plus all of the pressure that we're not seeing that she's under. That's a great point. I couldn't handle it. You know me, I'd be mouthing off in the first 5 minutes of these.
I mean, my eyes, I would be like, yeah, you know, I mean, even, but there are people, and it's great. There are people on Twitter who actually have gone in and grabbed screenshots, and they're like, this is an auntie face here, right? Like they can like translate what this means. Like, you know, when she's given them a certain face, and it's like, so that's pretty cute. But mostly, those of us who are white folk, we aren't catching that. You know, we're just seeing this person who's incredibly restrained and professional.